We're going to show you how to install a U-joint in the Dana 60 axle. This is the same concept for any Dana 60 out there, but this one in particular is from the Dana's Super 60 model. It's from a 2011 truck or 2005 and up. We're going to need a vise, a chisel or a screwdriver, and a hammer. That's all we're going to be using today. So first things is on the ends of your cap here, I'm going to hit this with a hammer, and what that does is it drives that cap in just a little bit, and it'll give you room to get the C-clip off. So I'll show you how you do that. You can see in here the C-clip. That's what we got to get off. So I'm going to try and get the end of the chisel right at the edge of that C-clip. And I found a chisel works better than a screwdriver just because it's metal on metal. You get more force out of it. And you're just going to try and tap it out. You can see it came off, and then I just pry it out. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Once you get the C-clips off of the inner U-joint, I'm going to set it up on the vise like this. And what you're doing is this inner yoke is dropping through the jaws. You can see here that, and it's actually resting on the outer yoke here. So I'm going to tap on the shaft here, and that's going to drive the shaft down and this U-joint up. That's how we're going to remove the caps. So you can see as the shaft went down, the cap came up. And it's going to be really hard to pull off. I'm going to switch and do the other side. And just go back and forth so you can get those caps off. And then you can just work the outer out, and we'll move on to getting the U-joint out of the outer. On this in particular model, we're going to remove this vacuum seal, and it's going to make it a lot easier to get the U-joint out. All you're going to do is just hit on it, and it comes off. Now you have a lot more open space to get to the C-clips. So I like to do the outer on the table. You can do it on your vise. I bring it to the edge here. And the same concept of pushing this cap in as the inner. We're going to hit on that cap and kind of angle this shaft so I'm not hitting flat. Kind of angle it. And that should give you enough relief to get your C-clip out. And then repeat the process for the other side. And then we'll take it back over to the vise and show you how to remove it from the outer. Okay, with our jaws open like before, we're going to rest the cross of the U-joint on each side. And then we're going to tap on the outer and drive the caps of the U-joint out. If your cap is stuck, you can't pull it out by hand, just take that chisel or your screwdriver that we had, put it up through, tap your cap out. Now that we have the U-joint all the way out, we're going to take these out to the buff wheel, and we're going to clean up the yokes here. We're just going to clean them up so that when we install a new U-joint, we're not getting rust and dirt and stuff in that new U-joint. With our shafts all buffed off, we're just going to finish cleaning them up. If you can see inside here, when you remove the U-joint, sometimes you get little burrs that stick up. We're going to go ahead and file those down so they don't damage the new U-joint seals. Now you want to be careful. You don't want to go straight across. You want to make sure that when you file, you're at an angle, and all you're doing is taking those burrs off. Because your U-joint cap is a press fit, you don't want to take off any material from the inside of this, just where this burr is. With everything wiped off, we took a rag and we wiped everything down, buffed off, cleaned up. Now we're ready to install the new U-joint. So we're going to take our U-joint, and I always start with the long side first. It's always easier than starting with the short side. You're going to take 2 of the caps off. And I set this kind of down on the ground on my foot because I'm going to try and be as careful as I can when I put this cross in, not to get the outside edges of the yoke of the axle shaft. So I'm going to get 1 cap on like that, and I'm going to bring it back up to the table with that side down. Now you're holding it the whole time so it can't slide off. And then I'm going to use the hammer and just tap on it to get that U-joint to drive up into the yoke of the axle shaft. Now once you get it flush with your table, I'm going to take the other cap here and put it on this side and press that down into the yoke. Now you can see these grooves are, you can almost see enough, but this side needs to come in just a little bit more. So we're going to put that back down on the table. And then we're going to install our C-clip. Now it should snap into place, and the thing you got to check, as you can see this machined ledge there, you got to make sure that your edge of your clip is not over that. It needs to be either on that ledge or up above it a little bit so that your clip is in all the way. So it's good on both sides. So now let's put the clip on the other side. So same thing, let's double check and make sure that we are not over that lip. And that side is good. So let's move on to putting on the outer shaft. You're going to remove both these caps. And then you're going to be careful again as you slide this yoke over the cross of the U-joint. Try not to touch the actual cross of the U-joint. You're going to put 1 cap on. And you're going to hold that there. Kind of hold everything at once, and I'm going to put it up on the table. And same thing as with the inner. press that cap in. And put your next cap on. And then we're going to put this C-clip on first. And double check that you're going to be within those. You can see on this side that it wouldn't have worked. It's on the outside of that ledge, so we got to move it a little bit. So it's on the inside of that little machined edge. That should be good there. Double check the other side, so we're good. Now let's press this cap in further. You can see that we've opened up enough space for that C-clip to go in. Double check it, and it's good. Now the final step is I like to take pressure off the caps, because right now it feels okay, but if you put it on the edge of the table like this, see how the outer shaft is resting off the table? If I just give it it doesn't need to be a hard tap, just a little tap, and then the other side, same thing, and then we're going to switch over and do it this way. And what that does is it takes pressure off your caps so that your U-joint is much more free. There's no binding, just feels a lot better. And now we're going to install our vacuum seal.